research clandestinely without making it part of their, if I go on a field trip of geologists into the floodlands, none of them are really working on it full time. It's all part time. They're working for the government, they're working for the oil companies, or, exploration, mineral exploration, whatever. They're doing this research into geological catastrophes on their own time.
Right.
But recently, just last summer, I got invited to actually present some of my research to the Atlanta Geological Society, which is the largest society of professional geologists in the Southeast. So I jumped at the chance rather than, So I presented hoping that I would get challenged, that somebody would say, wait a second, there's a flaw in your thinking here. Didn't happen.
So did you make friends with some of these mainstream geologists?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been known. When I just took a trip for, in September, spent 10 days back out in the floodlands, and I had a geologist with me on that trip. So, yeah, I'm getting to know more and more people who are working as, well, I majored in geology in college, so I still am in touch regularly with the head of the geology department. I see her pretty much on a regular basis and have been keeping her apprised of some of my stuff. And she has offered to sponsor me at whatever point I think that I can pull it together as a dissertation. But we'll see how that goes. My objective was to learn geology, not to become a professional geologist. I wasn't interested in working for the government or working for, the energy industry. I had geological questions, and that's why I majored in geology.
And you've walked the walk. And in my opinion, you know more about this stuff than 10 fully PhD geologists.
Yeah, you always freak me out. So what's fascinating to me about all of this is that I think what you've done has been very measured. Everything you back up with facts and photographs and descriptions and disclaimers. When you say, well, it is possible, you will go down other various paths. You're not dogmatic about these ideas, but you've spent so much time going over this. I don't know if there's a commensurate guy in mainstream archaeology that has been public about it the way you have been. Because if there is, I feel like we probably would have heard about him. Your podcasts have been, the ones that we've done, they've been seen by millions of people. They've been listened to by millions of people. I mean, the information's getting out there, and
it's making a real difference.
You're always going to have the guys like, I think Michael Shermer's very important. I'm not criticizing him, but that knee-jerk reaction to do something, to mock something or put down something that's not mainstream. Like one of his tweets, he said, do you know what archaeology with evidence is? And he wrote archaeology. Like, why would you even tweet that? Yes. That doesn't even make any sense. Like, that's someone who's not paying attention to your work.
That means
all you do is focus on evidence.
I'm reminded of the Shakespearean line, methinks the lady doth protest too much. Why does he need to say that it's got the evidence? It's like,
why is he tweeting
it's like
at
Fox
you?
News saying fair and balanced,
He's tweeting at you with this.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, your entire book is based on photographic evidence.
Yeah.
And all the other various pieces of evidence. I mean, your
Facts,
whole thing
documents,
is
detailed
it's all
research.
about examining all these pieces of evidence.
Yeah.
These aren't things that you've invented.
No.
These are actual real sites that you can look at.
I'm drawing inferences from them that they don't like. That's the thing.
Well, Robert Schoch and guys like him are so important.
Yeah.
Guys who have the courage, who's a Boston University professor
Absolutely.
who has the courage to look at the stones and say this is the product of water erosion.
Kudos to Robert Schoch as a geologist, as a career academic geologist who's taken that risk and put himself out there and followed the evidence where it leads. Another one is Danny Hilman Natawajaya in Indonesia, who's been responsible for the investigation of this extraordinary site at Gunung Padang, where work has been stopped since 2014. Again, he's a highly credentialed geologist. He's Indonesia's leading expert in megathrust earthquakes, but he's been looking at archaeology, bringing his geological expertise to that. So things are changing. We are finding academics who are willing to